Okay, this morning I'm going to video the unboxing and assembly of the Harbor Freight Central Machinery 3.5 cubic foot cement mixer. There is one overwhelming consensus online and everywhere you read about it. That's that the instructions on how to put this thing together totally suck. Almost non-existent. So I've read a little bit on the forums. We're going to put it together, see if there's anything we can do to improve the overall quality of it, and we'll document it along the way. So far everything seems to be packaged pretty nicely. There's our sucking instructions right there. I don't even know if that's going to do any good. One half. I know this, the big complaint, another big complaint is just thrown in here is this rubber seal. Why is this thing not already attached at manufacturing instead of having to put it on the drum? But we're not getting a $500, $600, $750 cement mixer. This is a $200 cement mixer. There's a reason for that. With all the Harbor Freight stuff, on stuff like this, I think the goal is to get it to improve on maybe little deficiencies. If you have the capability to weld or fabricate a few additional items, and you just make it better, make it last. I'm going to try to put, somebody had mentioned putting grease fittings in there, so I'm going to, I thought that was a great idea, so we'll document that. So, there we go. That's all of it, and we'll kind of just take a little bit of video as we go. And as far as all the bolts go, so far, that seems to be pretty well organized. Each bag has a number on it, and so we've got a total of 15 bags. The only one that doesn't have a number is one there. I'm assuming to be number 11 because there is no 11, and we've got one extra bag. Number 6 and 9, there's no differentiation between which bag is which, but I'm sure that'll become apparent very soon. Alright, step 1 is going to be to take the triangular wheelbase, if you will. We're going to attach the cross bar bracket, and there's the other end, the stand, and it looks like we're going to be using screw pack number 2 and 3 to assemble that. Alright, we have the initial crossbeam assembly put together. There are 4 screws in pack number 2. They're longer, they will go there and right here, and then the shorter screws in pack number 3 are the ones that go right underneath. So, alright, the next thing I did was go ahead and put the wheels on, and that's using the hardware out of bag number 14, the washer on the inside and outside, and the cotter pin that goes down through the hole. Okay, this is the cross beam, the support bar that actually rotates around, that had the drum on it. One of the first things I want to do was take this off and kind of inspect that. It didn't seem to be very easy turning, and the inside of this was not very smooth. It's still not super smooth. I'm not going to worry about getting it polished. It's not it's all you're doing is turning the drum to dump it, but I smoothed that out a little bit, went ahead and kind of took a Dremel. I'm going to put grease on it. There's no grease whatsoever, so it's subject to rust. So I'd go ahead and grease that really good. They've got a drilled hole right there, which I'm not sure if that was intended to put a Zerk fitting for somebody that desired to put one on there. For this piece right here, I think just doing an initial greasing, no more than it's turning, will be adequate. But I'm also going to pull this out and inspect the bearings on the inside, because it's not this is not very, just, it kind of almost catches, so it tells me that, and that's going to be turning at, you know, pretty good. That's what's going to be turning at good high RPMs to turn the barrel. So I want to inspect that a little bit and make sure that it's lubricated properly. So we'll take that apart as well. Okay, I've got the little swing arm installed. I put the bolts came from bag number 12. Honestly, I couldn't find any other bolts that would fit there. So the two that were in bag number 12 have got to be, although I couldn't use the washer because they actually weren't, they wouldn't have been long enough to get in if I would have put the washer on. And again, I took these, slid this off before I put it in, and greased the inside of that just to keep rust from ever building up there. Also kind of went in there and deburred that really good. This is where some people, you know, the barrel is going to rotate, have a stem in there, there's no grease fitting. Yeah, you know, I guess you could put I'm just going to grease it really good, and if ever need be, I can slide the barrel out and re-grease it, but I'm not going to worry about putting a fitting in. But I did take real fine sandpaper on the Dremel, smooth it out, and we'll move on. Alright, the next step is to lower the drum assembly. I mean, it just basically just drops straight down on. It'll rotate. Looks like this end just rests on there. There's nothing that pivots. It just sits on it. Kind of loud, but that's it. And just a reminder, this will go counterclockwise in the normal operation. To attach the arm, which is going to fit on here like so. Here we go. Sorry about that. All right, the arm's going to fit on here like so. There is a spring that will fit in here, and that's what puts tension to keep the arm pressed up against. When you come down here, these bags, the hardware to put this is in bag number 5 and bag number 12. You're going to need this little bitty flat one, and that's what's going to slide in here. Then we're going to put the spring, slide the spring there like so. What we're missing is there is no, I can't find one yet. There's going to be a nut, a bolt to go in here to put pressure on that spring. I'm not sure what bag that's in. And then this one's going to go across. I'm thinking these two washers, instead of having just a decent lock washer, they're having these two on there. So that's what I assume. That's what we're going to go with. Alright, so I've got the handle mounted on here. I actually inserted the two washers between. It was kind of hard to get the little round. But again, what we're missing right here is the bolt to put down pressure on the spring, which will then force it against here. So right now there's really no pressure until I find that. You don't want to tighten this too tight. This needs to kind of flow somewhat freely. And we're moving on. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is what most people have fussed about, and that's having to put the rubber gasket on. This is the top unit. And let me see. Alright, the next step is going to be to do what most people have fussed about, and that's sealing the rubber gasket, affixing the rubber gasket to the upper drum. A lot of people feel that should be done at manufacturing. It would sure make things a lot easier. One thing to note, the idiots do not include a tube of gasket sealant. I mean, charge $3 more. Over there where they make these, you could probably cost them 50 cents. So include a tube and save somebody from having to stop their project and go to the store to get gasket sealant. So once we finish that, we're going to affix it to the top unit. One thing I want to mention, you know, this thing, I had a little bit of damage right here. It was bent. Don't get bent out of shape. These things come in, got a little damage. The time it takes you to try to swap things out just isn't worth it. to try to, one thing that happened, like for instance, this came in, this is busted right here. That broke off the pieces right there. This thing right here doesn't fit in securely. I don't have time to worry about swapping that out. I'm just simply going to fix it, make it like it should be. I'll use some type of liquid nail or something to affix the box over it. I got to figure out how we're going to get that switch to stay in, because it's really not deep enough to mount. These little clips right here are not, they don't come up and catch on the edge of the metal, so I don't know if we're going to have to push that down, but we'll deal with that a little bit later. My point is, these things can come in and have some minor damage. I think you do yourself a great injustice to try to take it back and get the part that's not broken. Just fix the darn thing. It's cheap. Fix it and start using it.